Hey guys, it's Woody here, or Will. Welcome to another video. Today I will be doing a recap of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 19. Is it 19? I hope so. But it was called Emancipation, and so much has happened. But first off, I'm sorry about not making a video last week. I was trying to get caught up on Marvel Mingle and my vlogs and Minecraft Minis. I still have to upload my vlog, and stuff. And I'm working on Minecraft Minis, but that'll be up soon. But let's get right into the episode. Lots of stuff happened. So first I'm going to start off with Hive. We haven't seen his real true form yet. We got it teased in one of the past episodes, but we definitely will see his complete form of Hive in this finale. It's just going to happen. And we get a tie-in from Captain America Civil War, where Talbot gets sent by the president to Coulson to see if there's anything, going on with his Inhumans, because, he kind of knows that Coulson has some Inhumans on his team, and now with the whole events of Civil War, he needs some government oversight. And so Coulson is just like, okay, just then come check out our base. And he just kind of shows them through everything. And, he's just, still being awesome, as Coulson is. He's totally Team Cap, with him being a fanboy and him, just kind of knowing, I have Inhumans, but I've developed them into S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. There's a line between bad people, uncontrollable people, and good people. Like, obviously, we see some uncontrollable people, some uncontrollable Inhumans, like there's Crazy Eyes and all those people. And then there's people like Daisy and Lincoln that have showed to start to become agents. And Daisy, of course, is a full-on agent. And we see Dr. Radcliffe. He gets all the watchdogs. James captured them. And a cool thing what happened when James captured the watchdogs, we got a cool little Ghost Rider nod. He picked up the chains and set them on fire and started whacking the watchdogs. But anyway, Dr. Radcliffe uses those watchdogs as an experiment for this thing to make an Inhuman army. And when that happens, when he finally sees the result of his experiment, when he drained some blood from Daisy, he was like, oh, this is horrible. He thought that he was going to get killed by Hive. He's like, oh, it's a failure, because they kind of look like half of what happened to the failed experiments. Hey, that's the name of one of the episodes. Dude, I just realized that. But Hive is like, no, make more. These are my followers. This is my Inhuman army. And then Hive says, drain all of Daisy's blood. And it's like, what the heck, dude? So meanwhile, Talbot's at base looking at all the Inhumans Coulson has. And then he sees Lash. And Talbot was like, why do you have this monster on your base? And Coulson was like, well, he may be useful in the future. And that's kind of foreshadowing what happened later in the episode, which I'll get to. And during this episode, Lincoln talks to Daisy about how basically he just was there for her at S.H.I.E.L.D., and now that she's gone, he doesn't have a purpose there. And that's what we thought. And so he did this whole thing where had like a makeshift way out of his cell, and he took out the guard, and we thought he went onto the Quinjet, but turns out it was all part of the plan with Lincoln and May and Coulson. This was all part of their plan, and they actually sent Lash onto the Quinjet to face Hive himself. Now, I'll come back to Lash in a minute, but this just proves that Lincoln now does things for the team, for S.H.I.E.L.D., that he's not just there for Daisy anymore. And I loved how they reused a bunch of lines over the course of the episode, like May, when she said, desperate times, desperate measures. And Talbot said, you run a tight ship, Coulson. And then Coulson used that later on, said, I run a tight ship. In Lash, he was just beating up Hive's men. And then he sees Daisy, and right as he was coming up to her, we were thinking, is he going to kill her? What's he going to do? And they were talking about over the course of the episode what his intention was. And we see he picks up Daisy because she's weak, and he takes the Hive infection out of her brain. And he's like, now you're free. And it just shows that that wasn't Lash doing those actions. That was still the bit of Andrew he had in him. And of course that made it even sadder when he was killed, because I was just thinking, once I saw Lash, I was like, dude, he is so powerful. It's just, he could have had so much potential on this show, being part of the Secret Warriors and stuff, but that would have been a really, hard thing with his temper. He'd be like Lincoln times 10, but still we did see the good in him, and that was sad when Lash died. I was like, oh no, Lash, there he goes. I was sad, and then I realized, wait a minute, that's Andrew too. And that's why it was such a bittersweet moment when Daisy picked up those headphones and picked up that headset and put that on her and started flying the Quinjet away. It's just, she's back. The person we love is back. It was such a bittersweet moment. And she was saying, I repeat, I'm Agent Daisy Johnson, and I am coming home. That was just such a bittersweet moment. And then we see May sitting there with Lash, and, that was Andrew. That was her husband at one point, and right when they were gonna, finally resolve things once and for all, the whole Lash thing happened, and I think at that moment she finally felt sorrow. It finally hit her, because she was feeling revenge. She was like, we must kill Lash, and she was taking big desperate, she was going to desperate lengths. At that point, she did not care that it was Andrew, and now it's just kind of coming all back at her. It's like, now he's dead. He's not coming back. And I'm curious as to what they're going to do next episode. I know it's the finale, but I'm curious as to how much that they are going to fall back on this Lash thing. I really hope that it's just more than a reference, because I like good character send-offs when they're dying. I mean, I hate character deaths, which is bad because, obviously a member of the team's going to die. But I just wish that there was in shows, I just wish that there were better send-offs. They die and then, back to normal and back to reality. That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it really is when you're facing death. You try to go back to normal, but you keep thinking about that, and you don't want to go back to normal. But I do hope that they give Andrew a proper send-off. And we see at the end of the episode, it's all romantic for Mac and Elena gives Mac her cross necklace. Oh, it's all romantic for them, but, we know that whoever ends up with that cross is going to be the big death. So, I'm really hoping that it's not Mac, and I bet you it won't be. But honestly, wait, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Seriously, think about it. It could be anybody. Because I feel like in this next episode, it's going to be a big, giant, bloody game of hot potato with the necklace. It's going to be a bunch of twists, so just because Mac has a necklace now doesn't mean that he's automatically going to be the one who dies. It's going to go... We know what S.H.I.E.L.D. has done to us in the past, and they have surprised us. They do a good job of usually not having us know what's going to happen, because they're kind of known for their twists now. And so we don't know who is going to die and who will end up with that cross, and who knows. The person who does end up in that cross, with the cross, might not even... that might not be even a death. That could be literally just a S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform sitting in the Quinjet, and the cross necklace floating in there. Seriously? Think about what has happened in the past with stuff like that. It could be anything, guys, so just go into this next finale episode with an open mind. None of us are ready for this finale, but we're gonna have to face it. And, well, see you guys at the finale.